Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brother Minister Cepeda, and if you guys are new to the channel, please visit my website at treeoflifeoutreach.com. It is a holistic ministry, and I provide services that are uniquely balanced and synthesized so to provide you nourishment for your mind, your body, and your spirit. So it's a holistic ministry. The website is treeoflifeoutreach.com. Familiarize yourselves with my bio. Pass that message of inspiration on to anyone that you know can afford to be encouraged and provided an additional outlook with regards to uplifting their hope. And even if the story does not resonate with you with regards to the details involved in my bio, that's fine. It's not for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's still good old-fashioned inspiration. So pass it along to anyone that you know that can afford to be inspired, and if they can utilize the services on there, which consist of philosophical consultations, ISSA certified fitness training, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. That's how I seek to nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. Additional services that I actually provide are youth and young adult mentoring and counseling, as well as good old-fashioned inspirational teachings and speaking, okay? So thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about this thing called being positive. This is a word of encouragement for those who are positive-minded. Unfortunately, we know not a great deal of people are genuinely interested in being positive. Something, no matter if you want to call it a spiritual disease, a mental infestation, the fact that we've all been traumatized by so many things fed to us with regards to the media, or so many different things happening in our world, hurricanes, assassinations of prominent figures, JFK, Martin Luther King, having to witness 9/11. These things have traumatized our society, and it's left most people basically in a state of hopelessness. You know, our psyche has been fractured, and I just did a video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's called Trauma-Based Society, a smorgasbord for archons. Now, it doesn't mean if you don't have to believe in archons in order to check the story out or check the video out. Archons is what the Gnostics call them. The Islamic religion teaches and refers to them as being jinn. The Bible teaches and relates to them as being evil spirits. So whatever you want to use to reference it, that's fine. But check out the video and I'm gonna do a follow-up video on that as well, because it talks about how we're basically walking around in a traumatized society, and we know some of the symptoms, we know some of the side effects, the repercussions and the ramifications, of someone who has been traumatized, whether it's someone who was raised in what we call the hood, who has seen some things that were very sad, very vulgar, very violent, or whether it was somebody who returned from actual combat in the military. We know how these people behaved in terms of fear, doubt, anxiety, you name it, stress, and all of this. So I propose that there's a vast majority of our society who is suffering from this, and although it may not be to such an extreme degree that one could measure it and see it more readily as they would someone who has actually faced some of the more extreme circumstances in life. Nevertheless, I propose that if each and every individual was actually seen by a professional, whether that's a professional who went to school for it, whether that's a shaman, whether that's a mystic, a prophet, whatever you want to refer them as being, I'm willing to bet you that a vast majority of our society could be clinically diagnosed with having post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, and the only thing about it being post-traumatic is that it's happening to us every day. So we're always under this constant bombardment of being on the actual battlefield, if you will. So check out that video, and that'll kind of bring you up to speed with the message of today, which is, we have to be positive. We have to be positive. For those of us who maybe not as traumatized as others, and for those of us who may not be traumatized at all, as well as for those of us who was on the extreme end of being traumatized, but nevertheless, through the grace of our Heavenly Father, whatever you're comfortable referring to Him as being, we have managed and been guided to this path that says, there's still hope within me. There's still hope within me. There's still hope within you. There's still genuine joy and happiness and inspiration and all these things that are organic and natural for humans. These very things that have been kind of sucked out of society as a whole. And you see people walking around with the symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder. And again, I just say traumatic stress disorder because it's continual and constant. And those things are people being stressed, always having a negative mindset, lashing out at others, really no sense of joy or hope. There's anxiety. There's an overwhelming sense of sadness. And all of these things are basically what's going on in our day-to-day society. And if we're honest about it, we all know that. We all know that most people are not genuinely into being positive. There's a saying that positivity and or the truth is the new black. Nobody, very few people are into that. A lot of people don't vibe well to that. And you know this because you are watching this video, because you are one of the individuals who are seeking inspiration and upliftment and nourishment and replenishment in the area of just being positive. Just being positive. And we know that's hard work. We know that's hard work. We all have bills. We all have family members that are probably living outside of what we would consider best for them, or what we would consider a healthy lifestyle for them. We all deal with the pandemic and the ramifications that have been associated with that. Please pardon me. And so it's not easy. It's not easy. And yet such is the great workshop of life. We have to remain positive. We have to remain positive. If you are amongst those few who, in spite of everything, there's still a genuine sense of you wanting to help others, of you caring about others, of you genuinely wanting to see things change for the better, then it is incumbent upon you to turn that positivity up, to live that positivity. As the record John Legend says, be the change that you want to see. We have been bogged down, those of us who are positive-minded, we've been bogged down. We've been intimidated. We've been made to be frightful of just being positive, because we live in a society where everyone is positive. So if you show up, or if I show up, or those like us show up just being positive, then you're labeled as weird. You're labeled as strange. You're labeled as the oddball. Well, a label is just a label. It doesn't matter to me how you label me, because I need to be positive, because this is who I am. And that is who you are, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. So society, with all of these people who just can't fathom how is it that you could be positive? how is it that you could still have hope for the future? You see the same sadness they see. You see the same course that humanity is currently walking upon. You have bills, your boss don't like you, and so forth and so on. So how can you be positive? The only way you can be positive in their eyes is to be slow, to be weird, to be strange. And no, I'm telling you not. You actually are quite normal. You may be an exception to the rule, but you are the exact idea and the exact ideal of how a human being should be and what a human being should look like in terms of their attitude, their perseverance, their mindset, you name it. You bring all this to the table. And so it's like walking through a madhouse where everybody has been beaten down and stripped of their joy, their hope, their enthusiasm, their very vigor for life. And you walk through a house or a city or what have you, and everybody in that city has succumbed to those things, and you walk through there being positive. Obviously they're going to label you as being weird. They can't fathom how it's going on. And so we have to be determined that no matter what, we're going to live our truth. We have to. Pardon me, guys, please. So we have to live this truth. And we've been what presents us a lot of the time, what prevents us a lot of the times. Pardon me. What prevents us a lot of the time, or speaking for myself and the clients and the students that I deal with and teach, what was going on was that whether we admit it or not, whether we are even aware of it or not on a conscious level, we have basically been punked. Everybody know what it means to be punked. We have basically been punked. The tools they use to punk us is the fear of being labeled. The fear of being labeled. The fear that you're going to be labeled all these derogatory things. And so we tend to take this positivity and either put it on the shelf or just share it only with our family and our loved ones. And if you've watched my channel, you've heard me say 1,000 times or more that how does that benefit you? How does it benefit me if it's sunny in my backyard, meaning me and my family and those that I'm involved with? If it's sunny in my backyard, but the rest of the entire world sinks, it doesn't benefit me. So it doesn't behoove me to take this positive energy, this joy, this love, this hope for the future that I have, and then just share it with those in my inner circle. It doesn't benefit me. Obviously, we have to start there. Obviously, we have to put a premium focus on that. But then we also need to put a premium focus on society as a whole. And so these people know that they have given up hope, some of them, and some of them are just blinded and are simply unaware of the self-destructive behaviors that they partake in. It's simply something that's been introduced to them, and it's all they know. But for the rest of us, and for the rest of us who are not, we're not living from that mindset. We're operating from a positive mindset. We have to do better, guys. We can't no longer be punked. We can no longer be bogged down. We've been intimidated, and we've been made to be ashamed. To be ashamed of being who we really are. Because when you walk in and you're being positive and constructive, you know how you're viewed. we're living in a day and age where we can more better sense the energy of others. So you know how they perceive you, and you know how they label you. And you know, if you're honest, that sometimes we haven't stayed on level 10, 10 being the highest, we haven't stayed on level 10 in accordance with what is in our heart. We cater it, we turn it down. And that doesn't help anybody. All you can be is all that you can be. And all that you are is love, joy, hope, enthusiasm. You are all these things. You are positive-minded individuals, and nothing or no one has the right to attempt to intimidate you and to have you feel ashamed of being that way. So we always talk about this physical bullying, but we never or rarely do we address, or rarely do I hear people addressing, and certainly not to the degree that it should be addressed, the fact of social bullying. Social bullying. So you're going to fit in, you're going to walk this way, you're going to talk this way, you're going to behave this way, you're going to think this way, you're going to dress this way, and the moment that you don't, then we're going to socially attack you. We're going to ridicule you, we're going to shoot your name through the grease, we're going to label you as an outcast, label you as strange, weird, funny. We're not going to talk to you unless you fit in with what we're doing over here. And we're going to do everything that we can to make you feel the pressure to be ashamed. It's not fashionable to be ashamed of being good. And they know it. Being good is actually sexy. It's actually attractive. And these people know that. They are lacking something that you have. And they know that although they want it, they're not willing to go through what it takes to live that life. And so they attack you. And don't get me wrong, not all of them want it. Some of them are just committed to, as my mom, peace and blessings be upon her, used to always say, some people are just committed to being ignorant. And for those people, there's no hope. There's no hope for them unless they change their mind and decide to do things different for themselves. But a lot of people out there, they would like to be good, but they don't believe any good people exist. They don't believe any positive-minded people exist. The church has failed them. The teachers have failed them. Oftentimes their parents have failed them. Their spouses have failed them. They married this guy, they married this girl, and they thought he was really a stand-up guy, and happened to see him in a situation, and he betrayed his friend because he wanted more money or a better position at the job. And so she realized from seeing that, or she began to think, or he began to think, as a result of all of these people who are living this lifestyle, they've given up. And they are convinced that no good people, no positive, genuinely positive, I'm not talking situational positivity, and I'm not talking about running around being ridiculously giddy and Pollyanna. I just mean a positive person. So that when you go through your changes, and we all do, you handle them in the most positive way possible, even though it is a negative situation. You handle it from a positive mindset, and you deal with it. Oh gosh, please pardon me, guys. I apologize. So it's incumbent upon us to continue to keep that positivity up as high as possible without being giddy, without being Pollyanna, without this sense of arrogance as though we're going to rub somebody's nose in it, without any of those things, just genuinely positive. Because people need to see that. Most people have given up hope. They think people like you and me and others don't exist. And when they see someone like us in those rare times that they do, they've also been taught, brainwashed, and have come to believe that, well, they may be positive, but if you do this and if you do that, they feel like they can turn us negative. They want us to give up our positivity. No, that's not what we're going to do. Hey, this person may be a jerk. That person may be a bitch. This person may be a a-hole, or whatever you refer to them as being. They may be a 100% jerk. And I'm not going to sit here and trick myself or fool myself or belittle myself and pretend that I don't know exactly how you are. No, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is approach you and deal with you if I have to in a very positive manner. If I don't have to deal with you, if I don't have to approach you, then by all means I won't. If you are one of those people who makes it clear that you are just committed to ignorance. And I'm talking to those people that you know exist. Some people, you can tell if they're just having a rough day and maybe they didn't handle it as positively as they could have, and maybe they did lash out. You can sense and know if whether that is the case, and you can also sense and discern if whether or not it was someone whose energy vibe was totally different, and they were making it clear and abundantly clear to you that they are committed to ignorance. They don't like positivity. They can't stand positivity being around them. And at all costs, they're going to seek to destroy that positivity. So for those people, no, I will, if I don't have to deal with you, then I won't. And if I have to deal with you, I'll deal with you head on and very constructively and positively, whatever that may be under those particular circumstances. That's how it's going to be handled. But we can no longer afford to just sit back, guys. You know the saying, and it's a truth, that in order for evil men to thrive and to rule, the only thing necessary for them to rule is for good people to do nothing. And we've been sitting back doing nothing, minding our own business. Oh, the world is going crazy. Nobody likes positivity, so I'll wait till I see my husband and my wife and my kids. And the world around us continues to go to hell in a handbasket. It's time for us to pump the brakes on that, guys. There's no reason for you to be afraid of who you are. There's no need for you to be afraid of what you are. And the same thing goes for me. They cannot take your positivity. There's an old saying, no one can make you feel bad unless you let them make you feel bad. The only power that people have over you is the power that you give them. Same thing goes for me. So I think at some point we all go through these different phases where we kind of wake up and realize that, wow, the vast majority of society is wholly dysfunctional. And so we have to find our way through, we have to navigate our way through this maze of lunacy. And some along this journey have given up and just said, you know what, it's too hard, it's too weird, they lost too many friends, they don't like going different places where the cool kids are, and they never feel welcomed, so they're going to just set aside what it is they really would like to be and how they would really like to conduct themselves, and just go along with the crowd. But there are some of us out there, you wouldn't be watching this video, who have said, no, you're not going along with the crowd. And it's been difficult. It's been challenging. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. So as you continue to grow and continue to stand fast, don't be put down by the fact that it's difficult. Don't be put down by the fact that perhaps you're left out. Perhaps you're name called. Perhaps you go to the same restaurant with everyone else, and the moment you show up, there's nothing but disdain and vitriol appointed in your direction. Keep on keeping on. Handle those situations as positively as you can, and don't shrink in those moments. Take that energy in. Feel that negative energy. Feel that hurt. Feel that pain, that sadness, that disappointment. Because the moment you acknowledge it, you also simultaneously discharge it. And the moment you ignore it, or the moment you sit up and try to resist it, then that's the moment you give it an opportunity to continue to be created. You have power. Positivity has the power. So you don't have to be fearful. You just have to change the mindset and say, no, it's up to me to be strong enough. I'm not going to run from that hurt. I'm not going to run from that sadness. No one likes feeling rejected. No one likes being mocked or ridiculed. No one likes false rumors being spread about them. And so it is hurtful and it is painful. But the moment you sit up there and try and resist it, then the moment you start to give it power, because it says, okay, by you resisting this has power over you, or why would you resist it? It's like an elephant walking around with some birds, on his heads or on his behind. There's no reason for him to resist it because he has power over it. So don't resist it. Strengthen yourself. If you have to watch positive videos after positive videos, if you have to pray all day, if you have to meditate all day, read books all day, go to the beach and stare out at the ocean, whatever works for you, do that. Do that. Because that negative energy, it will pull you down. It will have you questioning if whether or not it's worth it. But the things that you do, prayer, meditation, good social, healthy social lifestyle. Got any friends? Anyone who really, really cares about you and cares about being positive? Get that into your system as much as you possibly can, because just like those other energies will have a draining effect on you, these other things will replenish that, and you can see at the end of the day, as you continue along that path, there was nothing to be afraid of. There was nothing that could hurt you. It was only hurting you because you were new to it. You were new to it. A new baby doesn't really know how to fall, so chances are when they fall, it's going to always, chances are, hurt itself, particularly on a bike or what have you. But the more you mature on this particular path, and the more and more that baby matures, then he can fall and know how to catch itself. So it's no big deal. So I want to encourage you guys, because it goes beyond just you and me and those like us. It goes beyond us in the fact to the point that where, as you hear me say quite often, some of this stuff is just Bible prophecy. And I'm going to do a video on the wheat and the tares and the separation of those things. Some of it's just Bible prophecy, and it can't be avoided. But with the gifts that we have of positivity, hope, faith, love, and all these things, we can have a major influence on how it actually ends and what we can build up from the ashes after it does. But it all starts with us being determined that we're no longer going to be intimidated. We're no longer going to be ashamed. We're no longer going to be bullied. We're no longer going to be harassed. We're no longer going to feel guilty. We resist that in the sense that we deny that that is the truth. We don't resist the fact that people are trying to portray us as that. No, we're going to fully embrace that. We're going to fully embrace that, hey, this is who I am. This is how they view me. And at the end of the day, so what? So what they view me like that? I'm not going to stop being who I am, and I encourage you to stop being who you are. Because you're a positive person. There is a power in you. There is a beauty in you that is from everlasting to everlasting. And no one can extinguish that. No one or no thing can extinguish that. It's who you are. Now, the only thing that could happen is you can give up. Don't do that. Enough of us have given up. There's a good bulk of those who are living in the type of previously described mindset, who would love to be positive, who were actually positive, who put up a fight, and some of them a good fight to remain positive, but at the end it was too much for them and they caved. You haven't caved. Don't cave. My contact information is on my website. If you just need someone to talk to, if you just need a positive person to share positive energy with, and again, not all of this, over the top, let's paint everything with a smile and everything's going to be okay. Not that, but having the toughness, the determination that says, come what may, I have the choice on how I'm going to deal with that, either negatively or positively. So we have that choice. We really, really do. And it's time for us to start exercising it. We can no longer afford to be reluctant to go out. And I've been there. I have to be real mindful of not falling back into that, because you can just walk into a room and just sense what people think about you and your positive energy, you and your hope for the future, you and your best wishes towards mankind. They let it be known to you what they think about you and that. And then if you're not on your game, you could easily just go within and kind of just shut down and say, well, I'm a positive person and that's it. I'm proposing that that's not the best move. The best move is to say, hey, I'm going to sit right here in the middle of this storm. I'm going to embrace all of these negative vibes. I'm going to take the pain. I'm going to take the suffering and the torment that it brings. And the moment the opportunity presents itself, or if I have to go out and create a moment in the opportunity, I'm getting this positivity that is me, it's being on display. So I'm not going to shut down. You can come to me as rude as you want, and I'm going to handle that rudeness in a positive way. And again, it doesn't mean being a punk or a simp or lame, because all of this is done under the umbrella of real love. Real love. Real love says you love your kids, you cook for them, you clean for them, you give them words of encouragement. And when they're growing up, if you catch them playing in the streets, you got a different kind of love for them. If you will look out the door and catch your 5, 7-year-old doing something like that, or your 3-year-old playing with the sockets, yeah, you wash him and give him his baths and encourage him, but you that's a form of love. But when you catch him playing with that electrical socket, you got a different kind of love for him. You got a teenage son who comes in the house, or a teenage daughter who comes in the house, or just miles off with you, at you totally disrespectful. Whatever it is for you, whatever you feel is appropriate for you, you have a different kind of love for them. So all of this is being done under that love. And love is all powerful. So if you have to, what we call, check somebody, then you check them. And if there has to be a confrontation with words or what have you, then you engage that positively. Because this ain't about being no punk. This ain't about being Pollyanna. This is about knowing that the power of my love is all powerful, because it's not necessarily my love. It's a higher love that dwells within me and dwells within you. So don't be reluctant. Don't be reluctant, and don't shut down. And don't, in my humble suggestion, don't take this build a wall. You hear people talk about shielding all the time. They're going to shield the negativity. No, don't do that either. In my humble suggestion, you need to take that energy in, because shielding requires an enormous amount of energy. Your mind is always blocking out. Your thoughts are always blocking out, shielding, rolling with the punches. And it takes all your energy. So when you get to the house or work or wherever it is you're always going to feel drained. No, what I'm saying is, take that energy in and become what the Gnostics, what the mystics, what the sages, what the prophets refer to as being the hollow vessel. And it just pours in and it pours right back out. Be conscious and focused enough to notice and be aware of that negative energy flowing into your system. Allow it to flow in and just be mindful of it, and then pay attention. It'll flow right back out. And you just have to become like this eagle perched high up on the tree branch, who is 100% vigilant. It's 100% vigilant. It's always looking around. It's always looking up and down, checking out its surroundings. It's vigilant. So we have to become vigilant with the observation of our inner selves. We have to be vigilant. And the more and more you practice this mindfulness, this self-awareness, you will notice how when that negativity is entering into your system, your body may not do that, but you'll feel that drop. You'll feel that shift in your energy. And the moment you do, that's the moment you, not necessarily with your body, but with your emotions, and you take that energy in and you release that energy back out, because energy can be transmuted. The more and more you do this, and contact me if you have any questions, the more and more you do this, the more stronger you're going to become. Because now it's like that negative energy is fueling you. So you begin to look forward to those opportunities, because it fuels you with regards to fueling you on your journey. Your journey is to get this positivity out. And so you need that negativity as a gauge to where you are and how well you're doing on your journey, so you don't run from it. There's an old saying that life is a fight. Life is a fight. Life is a fight. And if you run away from the fight, then you just ran away from your life. So let's not do that, man. No more being ashamed. No more turning down and being fearful and doubting ourselves. No, just be you. And just being you is going to guide you through everything that you need to go through. It's going to help you navigate situations. Should I say something? Should I not say something? Should I check somebody? Should I let that go? Whatever. So just be you. We need your positivity. We all do. Even those who are fighting against you, they need that positivity. They may not understand it, but they need it. And so the more and more we do this, the more and more we change this, because people have given up for hope. And when you walk through, you're like a living, breathing dinosaur. They can't believe people like you exist. And it spreads hope. It spreads encouragement. It inspires people, because they've been tricked into believing that people like you and I and the rest of us don't exist. So let's give them something to talk about. They're talking about us anyway. You tried fitting in. I tried fitting in. You tried turning down. I tried turning down. I tried blocking and, the negative energies and this and that. No, let's take it in, because taking it in is us accepting who we are. And taking it in gives us the strength to realize that the only thing was hurting me was the way I viewed their thoughts. We were giving them power over us by trying to resist some negativity, by trying to not be true to who you are. You give them power over you, because if you are all powerful, and you are, then what are you running for? What are you running from? There's no reason to run. Stand there. You're strong enough to take that pain. You're strong enough to take that pain and that sorrow of rejection and rumors and whatever else they want to throw at you. So don't give up. Help me. Help those of us who have this energy in us. Help us continue to change the world one day at a time. And let's be the example that we do exist. That this thing called God, whatever you want to refer to it as, that it is real. They've given up. They've seen the pastor preaching one heck of a sermon Sunday, and then turned around Sunday evening and saw him out smoking weed on the street corner with a couple of hookers. The church has failed them. Parents have failed them. Society has failed them. We don't have to fail them. And it starts with us not failing ourselves. So be encouraged, be inspired, be motivated, be vigilant, be determined. And I believe you can do it, or else you wouldn't have watched this entire video. So that's my message for the day, guys. I end all of my videos the same. I start all of my videos the same, requesting that people go to my website just in case there's new viewers. And I definitely have to honor he who has sent me for all that he's done in my life, all that he's already done in my life in the past, the present, and the future. I have to honor him. So that's why I start by requesting that everyone go to my website. And then I finish every video the same, which is a truth, two truths, and the way in which I live my life. First of all, I don't know all of y'all, but I do love all of y'all. Second of all is, this is my mantra, and this is the way I actually live my life, and this is the way I continue to encourage my clients and my students to live their lives. And we all get amazing results from this. It's just that some people aren't able to sustain it, and the fact that there are a lot more negative people than there are positive people. But in any event, truth number 2 is my mantra and the way that I live my life. And that is, if you are feeling bad, go make somebody else feel good, and you'll feel better. If you're already feeling good, and you go make somebody who's feeling bad feel good, then you'll go from feeling good to feeling phenomenal. That's just the way this thing really works, guys. The powers that be know this. They have been using this against us in reverse. So typically when most people get mad, they go try and project that out to someone else, and hence that person projected it out to someone else. So don't do that. That's a trap. When you feel bad, I don't care who it is, it can be grandma, a stranger, hubby, wife. When you feel bad, and I'm not talking just regular bad, because there's a time to feel bad, there's a time to feel good, there's a time to feel love, there's a time to feel hate. The good book teaches for all things there is a season. But what we don't want to do is sit there and waddle in it, or just really be feeling bad basically for no reason. Sometimes we all just may feel bad for no apparent reason. In those type of situations, go out and make somebody else feel good, and you'll feel better. If you're already feeling good and you want to turn it up a notch, then go find somebody. You don't got to look for it. Go find somebody that's feeling bad, make them feel good, and then you'll go from feeling good to feeling phenomenal. That's just the way this thing works, guys. I am Minister Cepeda, and I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, and stay blessed, because you are blessed. Peace. I'll holler back.